See, there's a framework I talk about. It's a discernment framework. I call it PPP or PPO. You know, it's a path from pressure to purpose. One is that you got a problem. Two, you can either shout or pray about it. Three, you have to have a perspective, get it, making sense of where you are. Then look for the opportunity and the challenge. And then obedience, take the next step. Some of the world's greatest things started by a problem. I had the other day about how McDonald's, when they first started, it was just to come in and buy food and go. But they were actually in one of their branches was actually near a military base, and the soldiers were not allowed to leave their cars to go and buy McDonald's. So the soldiers, it's like Mr. Biggs in Nigeria. So the soldiers could not come out of the car, and the guy who had the store said, "Hey, we are next to a soldier base. There's so many of them. How can we serve them? They can't leave their car to come out. They're not allowed to leave their car to go and buy this. It's not allowed because they're on the army barracks." So what did he do? He broke a hole in the wall and made it into like a drive past. Soldiers could come and drive there and buy the food and collect the food and go without coming out of the car. That's how they started the drive-through, which is now very common. So the drive-through came from that concept because the guy had a problem. And the many stories of people that had problems, they made the problem into a business. So you have a problem today, you have a challenge, you found out that name it honestly. It might be anger, it might be your mind, your thoughts. If you name it honestly, you can actually, in the end, turn that into something that even help others who are also going through struggles of anger. Whatever you're facing through can become something that you can even use to help. You can even start a coaching program helping those who are angry. There's so much you can do with a problem. You can either sit down on it or you can pray about it. Say, God, this is my problem. God, help me. How do I fix this? And then you can ask God that, God, show me what you can produce out of this. Then show me, what is my assignment in this problem? If it's anger, can I help other people who are angry? And then finally, obedience. All the steps are important. If you skip the steps, you will not get answers. If you have perspective without prayer, it becomes self-help because you have a way to do it, but you didn't pray about it. So it's just you help yourself. If you have the opportunity without perspective, that stops your faith. So when you have the opportunity and you don't have the perspective, you have not heard from God what to do. So it affects faith. And if you don't obey the opportunity that comes, you just as a thought, you're just thinking about it, but you have to step out and do it. So whatever, this is the tool that this week hangs on, you have to understand that you have to name it, you know. Yeah, you can't pretend. You have to bring God in to help you analyze the problem. And then you ask God that, God, what's happening? Then look for the opportunity in the problem. What is the opportunity? What is the assignment? What is the thing that I can do in this problem? You know, and you have to be totally obedient. That is a step that if you don't take that step, you skip it, you don't do it, you will not have a breakthrough because all those things are important. All those steps are important. And so I want you today to figure out where is your challenge? Where are you struggling? We're doing a fasting and prayer session right now. We're going through asking God for clarity, for resources, and for strategy for our assignments. So in the same realm, you start to thank God that because that after you pray, then you start to thank God. God, I think that we're fasting and praying and we have clarity. Lord, I think that we have resources. We call them forth. Human resources, financial, we call it forth. But I think that we have, that we have strategy on what to do. So you thank God for those things. And you have to have the perspective of what you're going to do.